I would describe today's race as a really good race. Yes, today's race was good. Alright, anyways, how's it going, guys? This is Spidey64 here again, and you can tell, yeah, I did shave. Because I had to shave it off. But, yeah, I mean, don't worry, will grow back again when the NASCAR season starts back up. So anyways, now it's time to get on to the review. So first off, yeah, after a very boring race at Texas Motor Speedway, we then head off to Phoenix, to Phoenix or ISM Connect Raceway, as this was going to hold the third race in the round of 8 to decide who will the championship for be. And there are 3 spots that are open. As you all know, Kevin Harvick got a penalty at Texas, and that took away his win. And now, and so it was up for grabs now. So yeah, coming into the race, there were a couple drivers that needed to have a good point stake. Like for example, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, and then Eric Almirola and Clint Bowyer basically have to win the race. So yeah, and Kevin Harvick's intern crew chief was actually Tony Gibson, which I'll get into Tony Gibson in a little bit. But anyways, Kevin Harvick, while showing that nothing can basically stop him, basically, won the pole at Phoenix and or ISM Connect Raceway. I don't really care what I'm gonna call it Phoenix or ISM Connect Raceway. So yeah, and Chase Elliott started second in the race. So yeah, you already know my very opinion on the truck and Xfinity race. Truck race was good. Xfinity was What killed it for me was Justin Allgaier didn't make it to the next round. But anyways, did not make it to the championship four. But anyways, so yeah, the green flag drops and Kevin Harvick pulls out to an early lead with Chase Elliott second and Ryan Blaney in third. Ryan Blaney was third throughout most of the first half of the race. I don't know why, but I felt like he had a good pace and stuff like that. And we get our first caution of today, which involved Joey Logano hitting the wall. I think that was the first caution. There's a lot of stuff that happened. Basically, he blew a tire. It's because, okay, and this is going to be a repetitive joke all the time, but basically, David Land put out a tweet saying that Kamikaze Games, which, by the way, Kamikaze Games was at today's race, basically, and he, and basically, there's a joke saying that he had a sniper with him, and he just, shot the tires or something like that. It was funny, and since he hates Logano, he despises Joey Logano. That's why, and stuff like that. Also, I was watching this race with, Orca Flop and Cahill, 145 and stuff like that. Rally Smoke 14 a little bit in there, but not really. He was just, I'll get into why he was kind of pissed. So first, so when there were 2 laps to go left in the stage, Kevin Harvick, Kamikaze Games, basically sniped Kevin Harvick's, what was it? Was it his right front tire? And so basically he had a flat. He had to come onto pit road, and then Chase Elliott took the lead. And then Chase Elliott won stage 1, so yeah, that was pretty cool and stuff like that. So yeah, Chase Elliott got a lot of good stage points and stuff like that. Then we go back to green and such, and obviously Kevin Harvick, needs to make some ground up. And actually, during the first half of the race, guys like Mark Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, they were in the top 10 all day, and stuff like that. And Mark Truex Jr. wasn't much in the race today. I mean, well, for the first half he wasn't, but then to the second half, he was. But yeah. And then I believe what next happened was that Clint Bowyer hit the wall, and that ended his championship hopes up in smoke. And actually, during the when Joey Logano got turned around, Daniel Suarez got into the back of Matt Kenseth, which explains why Daniel Suarez lost his seat at Joe Gibbs Racing to Martin Truex Jr. Not really. I mean, that's unfortunate, but man, I'm gonna be excited, man. It'll be for the best that Suarez is not in that 19 no more, and they have a better driver like Martin Truex Jr. and stuff like that. But anyways, so after that happened, there was a little bit of pit strategy in there, here and there, and Kyle Busch won stage 2. Okay, I'm just trying to remember some of the stuff that just happened during the race, you know, and such. But yeah, so yeah, then we get to the third stage, and there's a point in the race where Chase Elliott was catching up to Kyle Busch, and eventually he did. You know, he took the lead and stuff like that. And I really wanted a long green flag run because I honestly don't really want any cautions, but obviously a caution comes out. I think it was the 97 that spun around. I don't even know who the hell's even in the 97 today, but yeah, he was the biggest jackass of today. Just to say that. But anyways, oh man, but so yeah, that happened, and that forced everyone to come into pit, but then Chase Elliott made a big mistake. Spin on pit road, and yeah, I was pretty vocal about it, you know, I was, that's the only thing I could say. I was pretty vocal about it, but, yeah, very, like I said, very, very vocal and stuff like that. So that put Chase Elliott back to the longest line. And yeah, we had a bunch of other just stupid restarts and such, and and stuff like and stuff like that, and such. And then there was at one point of the race where Ricky Stenhouse Jr. hit the wall really, really hard. Like, it reminded me of, yeah, he hit the wall really hard, and I was prepared to make a Ricky Stenhouse Jr. joke, but I'm like, nah, that's not for the perfect time. Plus, I don't hate Stenhouse, unlike other people who hate Stenhouse because of Daytona. Even though, I don't know, I don't really care. But anyways, yeah, he hit the wall pretty hard. That put us on the red flag because there's a lot of fluid on the track. Then we get to this next restart where it had Kurt Busch, Eric Jones, Kyle Busch, and then Danny Hamlin was also in there. And then Danny Hamlin becomes the biggest jackass of the whole entire race, puts Kurt Busch into the wall, and then Kurt Busch turns into him. And then Kurt Busch comes down onto the racetrack and collects Chase Elliott. The whole right side of Chase Elliott, basically almost the whole entire door was missing. But yeah, so that ended Chase Elliott's day and such. Well, for contention to win, he was still running in there, but honestly, he was done, and I was vocal about that as well. I think if Chase Elliott were to maybe survive that wreck, then he could have maybe been in there for the final couple laps. I mean, he looked like he maybe could be the other driver to look like he could challenge, Kyle Busch. But, not really. So, yeah, that's just what happened. And such. And, yeah, so that ended, Kurt Busch's day. And, and he DNF after the race as well, which, Kurt Busch is just trying, he was just trying to go out there and trying to get to the next round. And, he really did look like he could have maybe gotten in if he didn't have a bad day. But anyways, oh well. And oh well for Chase Elliott, I mean, he makes it really this far into the playoffs and then gets eliminated by really only a fraction of a point, but really this close. So basically, there are two scenarios. So basically, let's come up with a couple scenarios. There are a couple playoff drivers that are basically kind of out of contention. Clinton Boyer, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, and Joey Logano. And Joey Logano, he always was locked into the next round. But basically, but hey, you see though, there's also Eric Almirola, and I'll get into Eric Almirola in a little bit. But Eric Almirola, in the final few laps of the race, he was going for the field, and he was trying to challenge Kyle Busch for the lead and such. And it would have been interesting if Eric Almirola would have, won, but and such. But and also there was a bunch of other drivers that were up there in the top 10 or top 5, like William Byron, Jamie McMurray, Austin Dillon was in there, and such. But yeah, and then we get another caution and another red flag because Alex Bowman decided to turn into Ghost Rider and such, and that was another red flag. And I think that was the final caution of the day, other than maybe the 97 may have spun around or something like that. Also, oh yeah, there was one I forgot to mention. During, I think, stage 3, Kevin Harvick got into the back of David Reagan and spun him around. It was just like, what the F? It was like, what the F, WTF moment, but whatever. But anyways, now getting into, and it's at this point that so now there's actually come to this. Now there's actually a point in the race where Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott were tied with points, and I'm thinking, man, Kevin Harvick just needs to have a problem or something so Chase Elliott can make it in and such. And Eric Almirola basically had to win the race to basically knock Harvick out. And so there was some talk saying that maybe Kyle Busch will give the win away to Eric Almirola so he doesn't have to deal with him at Homestead. But no, Kyle Busch basically took it in and all for himself, and he basically had a good restart. And Keselowski, who had also fresher tires, he was trying to catch him up. He didn't have enough time. And so in the end, after this really chaotic race, 2 red flags, a lot of wrecks, Kyle Busch wins at Phoenix, or ISM Connect Raceway, and the championship has been decided. Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and Kevin Harvick, all 4 of those drivers, the big 3, going to Homestead, along with Logano. All of them will be competing for a championship at Miami next year. And actually, when you look at that Final 4, it almost is like the same like last year. I mean, there's one Joe Gibbs racing car, there's one Furniture Row racing car, there's the SHR car, and then there's a Team Penske car. But this time it's Joey Logano, and such. So yeah, basically, as you can see there, Logano's trying to go for his first cup. Is trying to go for his first cup title, and Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Busch are gonna go for their second. Even though Kyle Busch is still looking for his real championship, not his fake one like in 2015. So yeah, and as you can see, I'm just clearing up Twitter and stuff. But yeah. So first up, let's just take a look at the unofficial results, even though it's probably official. So Kyle Busch Kyle Busch was the winner. Brad Keselowski second. Kyle Larson third. Kyle Larson has one more chance to break his long winless streak at Homestead, and he's God at Homestead and such. But yeah. And you got Eric Almirola, Kevin Harvick, Jamie McMurray, Matt Kenseth. I mean, Jamie McMurray, a guy we don't talk much about, and also Matt Kenseth, who we haven't talked about in a while. And then we got Austin Dillon, William Byron, and then Darrell Wallace Jr. So William Byron and Bubba Wallace, stuff like that. And also William Byron has won Rookie of the Year honors and such. So yeah, congrats, William. And then you got Ryan Newman, AJ Allmendinger, Danny Hamlin, Mark Truex Jr. Finished 14th. Jimmy Johnson in 15th in the Power of Pride Lowe's Chevy that he's throwing it back to, which was actually a nice looking paint scheme. And you got Michael McDowell, Eric Jones, which he was actually up there for a little bit, but then he I don't know what happened to him. I think he ran out of gas or something and such. But then you got so yeah, then you got Eric Jones, so like I said, Chris Buescher, Ty Dillon, David Reagan, Matt DiBenedetto, Regan Smith, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Cole Witt, Landon Castle, DJ Kennington, Cody Ware, Paul Menard, who had a really not so much good of a day. He crashed during practice and such, and wasn't good for the team. And then you got Alex, and then here are the drivers at DNF. 30 drivers DNF. You got Alex Bowman, Terry Berry Hill, or the 97, Kurt Busch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Blaney. He had he was leaking oil and such. Clint Boyer, Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano, JJ Elliott, and Timmy Hill. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it and such. So yeah. Anyways, so overall, how would I describe this race? This race was pretty good, pretty good race. And it sucks, for Chase Elliott. It sucks that Chase Elliott didn't get in, which is why I had to cut off my playoff beard, as I like to call it, because Chase Elliott was in the playoffs and such. So yeah, I had to cut it off, but hey, eventually will grow back. I'll post a picture on Instagram. And Twitter right after this. But anyways, so yeah, this is a really good race. I'm very excited for Homestead, and if you're gonna ask me who I think will win the championship, I think it will be Kyle Busch that will win the championship, and I'll explain in the podcast. But anyways, tell me down in the comments below what you thought of this very chaotic race at Phoenix. And also, can I just say what I think of the reconfiguration? It was really good. Really good. I'm excited when NASCAR comes back here. Oh shit, it's going to be broadcasted on Fox, so it's going to be terrible. Catch you guys later. See you tomorrow, where I'll try to find some NASCAR Authentics, and I'll talk a little bit about some stuff in Xfinity. You all have a good night, and I will see you in the next video.